Hi. So today is day we have 67 days. Well, today would be 67 days left. Would have been and tomorrow is 66 days left until 2026. Um and yeah, so let's just hop into this video. I'm hoping this will be a very quick one. And the topic today is checking your work. A lot of these videos that I'm uploading, I am not checking them to see how they look. I'm not checking to see if the quality is good. I'm not checking to see if the audio is correct. I'm not editing any of them. And recently I was notified that there is one of the videos where I'm talking about disappointments and just talking about different stories of where I was giving examples of disappointments where there's an entire section where the microphone just stops working and then it picks back up. Um, so I just wanted to get on and talk about checking your work and making sure that it is quality. And one of the things that I am learning about quality work and checking my work is that you have to do it. I grew up, in school, and one of the things that I never did, like whether it was an exam, math exam, or whatever type of exam it was throughout my learning experience, I never checked my work. And a lot of my C's and B's could have been A's if I checked my work, or even if I went back to the professor or the teacher and said, hey, this is actually correct, you mistaken my 5 for another number or my 4 for a 6, or vice versa. I was never one of those people. And as I've gotten older, I've learned the importance of checking my work. Also, like it checking your work allows you to mitigate risk, but also mitigate errors. And in this life, we can have a lot of errors, right? But once we are aware of those errors, we are supposed to be in tune with them and correct them. And I think the faster we can correct the errors that we make in this life or the mistakes, the faster we correct them or the faster we acknowledge them, we're able to kind of maneuver through them and figure out the best way to tackle and to move forward. And one of the ways moving forward, hopefully I'll have time to go back over these videos that I'm uploading, and I'll be able to really understand my mistakes, my errors, whether it's audio issues, whether it's video quality, whether it's lighting, whatever it is, whether it's the thumbnail, I don't know. Just really trying to mitigate as many errors as possible, creating something that's quality. And that I know I'm talking about videos and the quality of that and checking the work, but I think can easily be applied to our day-to-day lives in so much that sometimes we're so ready to put forth the product or say something to someone, right? But we don't check our heart, and um, we don't check our hearts, and we don't check if that product is really ready to go. If there's anything that needs to be worked on, like currently, I do a lot of newsletters and a lot of magazines and help with a lot of people's content, whether it's church, families, or whatever it is. And a lot of times when I do not check properly, there's misspelling, there is the wrong picture with the wrong description or the wrong person's name. Things like that can get mixed up if you do not double check your work. So I just want to talk about how, again, it is so important to double check your work. So whether you're in school, whether you're at work, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure you're double checking your work, because it will definitely decrease the amount of times that you have to do something over, the amount of times that you have to start from ground zero, because you did not go through the process of checking your work as you were doing your job, or that product, or whatever it is that you were doing. And that is what I'm learning. And sometimes it's difficult, but sometimes it's, if you're just looking through your own eyes and you don't have someone else um to kind of edit, or someone else's eyes, fresh eyes to look over something, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss that detail. You're going to miss that error, that mistake that you made. Sometimes when I'm posting, I may misspell a word and I post it anyways. And it's not until after the fact that I've gone back and read that thing and I'm like, dang, I misspelled this word. And it's a simple correction. But because I'm so ready to post, or because in our life we're so brainwashed, or we're so trained to beat time, right? We're trained to beat time. We're trained to get that thing and that idea out rapidly, without it growing, without it being marinated, without the correct framework in mitigating risks, mitigating errors, the correct framework of double checking our work, that we just put it out there anyways. And in this next year that we're going into, we cannot make the same mistakes that we did this year. And we have to be very, very, very aware of checking our work, regardless of what that context looks like for you. Maybe it's your job at work, whether it's baking a cake, whether it's speaking life into someone, whether it's posting or tweeting, or thinking because of the First Amendment that you can say whatever you can say, and not have consequences because you definitely hurt somebody else's feeling, or you didn't have the heart to realize that what you were going to say, or what you did say, would have a trickle down effect, or it could have been something negative. Regardless of what that thing is, double check it. Double check your heart concerning it. Double check your mind concerning it. Double check your spirit concerning it. Double check every single aspect of that moment before you put forth it, before you publish it, before you establish it. Because what I'm learning is, I will have to go back eventually and edit that part out of the video that has no sound, or the video that cut out early. Whatever it is, I will eventually have to do that, or I won't. It just depends on how I feel and depends on how much time I have. But if I say that I'm a content creator, I have to realize that I have to go back over my work, and I have to look at the errors. I have to mitigate the mistakes. I have to really um, understand what that means for the audience. Yes, it's one thing to show up authentic, it's one thing to show up, what they say, without your makeup on, just plain Jane. But it comes a time too where um, that quality is what brings back your audience. Is what brings back people to watch more and more. Obviously, I'm definitely leaning on the Holy Spirit and Him bringing in the audience and the people to listen. But still, as a content creator, I have to go back over these eras, and I have to make sure that they don't happen again. And I have to evaluate. I talked about that before, evaluation. So we've talked about evaluating things, and that evaluation has to do with mitigating errors for the next year, so that we won't make the same mistakes that we made this year, the same misunderstandings that we had made this year, the same ignorance or the same postures that we made this year, it won't go into the next year. So this is a quick one, and I am glad that you are listening. So whatever you're doing in this life, make sure that you go over and you're checking it, double checking it. And it will definitely help you in the long run to establish some type of routine where you're double checking your work. The best writers double check their work. The best comedians double check their work. The best actors, actresses, they're double checking their work to make sure they get the thing right. Um, yeah, so get it right. If not the first time, maybe the second time. But yeah, go forth and be great this week. and strive to live an abundant life. And that has to do with mitigating errors and understanding where you have made mistakes and trying your best to correct that in the long run. Okay, bye.